What's the name of this thing again?
The Purple Power.
Purple Power. Do you like my subtle jab? My jab.
All right, ready? Yeah. 3, 2, go!
Thanks for the Sammy.
You're welcome. It's like getting hit by an actual car.
Welcome back to Mini Bike episode 4. This is the Day of Judgment, the reckoning right now for the mini bike we've built. Now, if you haven't followed along with this series, we're not really gonna catch you up. Just go watch all the other episodes, A, because they're awesome, and B, because they don't take that long. Long story short, we built a mini bike. Now we're gonna test this thing out. We're gonna bring them outside. We're gonna actually run these things and sort of see what happens. We're gonna test top speed on this baby. We're gonna run it against a stock bike. We're gonna see how it does against another modified bike. But before we do that, we kind of wanted to address one thing, and that's the chassis. We haven't really talked too much about that. We've spent all our time working on the motor of these mini bikes, but with just about any race vehicle, the chassis matters a whole lot, wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah, for me, I dig this bike because it reminds me of the mini bikes I grew up with. The fact that I found an old chassis from when I was a kid with a monster Predator 212 motor in it. It's like dictionary definition of a hot rod. Little bike or a little car with a big motor, same deal. So with that, traditionally a hot rod is very sketchy because the motor is too big for the chassis. So this thing is like a total death trap.
It's like exactly what we were shooting for. But Joe brings up an important point too. We've got very different chassis here. I've got more wheelbase than he does. I have larger wheels. At speed, this bike is simply more capable to deal with the increased motor size. Joe's bike is a whole lot of fun, but it's also not very competitive sometimes because of these tiny little wheels and because of, you know, where his weight sits over the axle and because of the fact that Joe is a much poorer mini bike rider than I am.
The main thing is the sprocket is bigger than the tire in the back, so when you go left, the sprocket hits the ground, and it's pretty scary.
His chain actually throws sparks. Let's get outside in the sunshine, and we're gonna show you some of that mayhem right now. We got them lined up. The first test for the medal here is gonna be who winds up with the highest top speed. Now, Joe is on the stock version of this bike, so you guys can see exactly comparatively how these things stack up against one another. I've also got a speedometer hooked up to this bike. We're gonna see what the top terminal velocity is here. I've seen 41 miles an hour on the straight so far. I'm hoping to best that today, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna. We've made some modifications to this for longevity. Let's get them fired up and roll, Joe.
Okay, let's go.
Need a little choke. All right, what do you think your chances are?
Pretty good.
Your chances are absolutely terrible. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let you call the start. Maybe it'll give you a little help.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, go!
I saw 39 miles an hour. Joe saw my taillight.
I did 9. Come back with the hot rod bike and kick your ass.
On to the next one. We got Purple Power out here. How about you do a fair start this time? I say we race down that transformer box.
All right, let's go. Let's get it on.
Let's start these babies up.
Prepare to get shut down.
Oh, you're getting me another lunch.
Just don't want to loop it off the line. That's the only thing that's kind of crazy here. 3, 2, 1, go.
You know, that was a much closer race. I think that is like a whole study in gearing as far as and weight reduction too.
Yeah, I got you off the line.
There's an awful lot there. That
took a while for you to catch me this time.
It's a much closer race this time. One lesson I think that I definitely learned, I think I probably knew beforehand, is that these are, regardless of whether you have a super modified one all the way down to a stocker, they're really, really fun. Mini bikes are the best, and everyone should probably have one.
Everyone get a mini bike now.
Let's go hang out with other people with mini bikes.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go.
Bring up the heat. Turn up, turn up. Me and my dogs coming around, bet we gonna shut it down. With the America, my running like Machiavelli in town. never tell me nothing, I already been on top. And don't ever think that I'ma stop. I'm the man of my city and I'ma let it be shown. I always gotta go hard cause I never stay home. Always bad to the bone and I didn't come alone. My dog right here way harder than yours.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go!
Turn up, turn up, turn up. I got no choice but to go hard.
Thank you for the sandwich.
You're welcome.
I hope everybody who watches it likes it.
Everyone's gonna go out and buy mini bikes and sell their real motorcycles.
This thing's a hoot to zip around. Yours is fun. Like, we've both ridden each of the others. Like, wow. I really enjoy these things. What do you think we should do for the next project?
Oh, man, good question.
I have a few ideas. Dual engine mini bike. I've also had the idea of doing like a big block mini bike, like where we maybe cut the frame and add some vertical height to it so we could either put in a taller motor or maybe like a twin.
Yeah.
And I also had the idea of doing a diesel mini bike. I think a diesel mini bike would be a lot of fun.